September 10, 2024. I had a special thing going on in the night. I got a visit that scared me, and it was 3 o'clock in the night. And before that, I remember that I was talking in my brain about this with the Jewish things. So I was a little awake because of this thinking about Jewish tradition make me not be deep down in my sleep. And suddenly there come a boy running in the spirit way, not a real really here on earth. He come running, and it was a long corridor, very long and slim corridor, so it was like it was only he that could fit into this corridor, and it was grey around him, grey in the corridor. And the boy, he was about 10 years old, and I was thinking that he looked like my brother, who is 2.5 years older than me, and I have not talked to him since 1990, when our mother died, and then he'd have not wanted to talk to me and hide for me. But he had talked to my son, and my son talking to him, because they are equal in their mind, and evil-minded. And it was very strange, this, but it was good, because he come running up to me, and then he has something in his mouth. He holds with fingers with something that he had inside his mouth, and it could have been a whistle, but maybe one day I will come to know what it was he had in his mouth. But just now I hold it like it was a whistle he had, and like he should whistle to me to wake me up, but I wake up before he could do it, so I was a little fast for him. And then I went up, and I always, it doesn't matter what it is, I write it up on Facebook, so everyone can read it that is my friend. And most of the time no one make a note or showing me that they have read it, because they are frightened about it, because they don't understand how I can have this spirit experience when they don't have it. And and I wrote today that it doesn't matter that no one act on what I write, because that is a note for me. Because sometimes I go back and check out what I have written and what time it have been like that. And I wrote that it's like the notes I did when it was these drones, those, I maybe say it wrong, but those machines that are flying up in the air to when they want to spy, or in Ukraine to have bombs with them to drop into people's head or building. You know what it is, and maybe someone of you that is my follower, you know, I wrote about this, if it was about 1 year ago. I wrote that the drones was up over the nuclear plants here in the south of Sweden, where I live, and they try to go up with helicopters, police helicopter, to catch them or see what it was. And they were thinking it was the newspaper that wrote that it was maybe some tourists that wanted to take picture of from the upside down to on the nuclear plant. It was so stupid, because that night when the drones was over the nuclear plants, it was very hard wind. It was almost like a hurricane, and no one should send a drone up in that hard weather. No one, because they cost much money, those drones also. They don't want to destroy them, and they could take picture in the calm weather and in the daytime also. So it sounds wrong. And I was thinking about, I wrote that it maybe was Russian, that military that wanted to check. But I think they also have pay attention how the weather are. And those that have seen these drones, they were big. It was not like we buy it private. It was over 1 meter in circle. It was big drones, and for me that have experience of UFO, I was thinking that is aliens, because they couldn't, when they come up to with the helicopter, they couldn't follow them. They were flying so very fast away. So that was very strange. And if it was some people that have placed them up in the air like that, they could see who they were. And this only escape from the military and the police. So this, I say that because we have had in 2 days we have had drones, but not here in the south of Sweden. It have been in Stockholm, and it was on the airport, our international airport in Stockholm, and they have seen it on the radar, on the screening, that it was something that disturbed the airplane. So that they stopped. They didn't let the airplane coming down or going up. It was closed, the airport, because of these disturbing things that was flying around. And I still believe that it can be aliens that is very close to reach out all over the world, and with their those drones. And but it can be Russian, also another country that want to see what we have. And the reporter on the news, they say that they want to see what warning system we have, what security we have on the airport. It can be that. I don't say that. I only guess here. And it make me remember this. I have talked about this. It looked like a butterfly that come into my home. I was awake. I was sitting at the computer and was working with something. And when I saw this butterfly coming in, and I tried to help the butterfly because my cats was hunting it. And when the cat is hunting, you know that you that have animals, and especially cats, they are like blind for everything around them. They only focus to catch the prey, to what they're hunting. They don't care if they take down lots of things for us. And so I went up and was thinking I should help the butterfly out from my home. And I was very close to the butterfly, and this butterfly didn't wave with his wings like normal butterfly. You can see them move the wings. Not really, maybe not flying, but they move the wings. And it was jumping around in the lamp to escape the cats. So it was like they were intelligent, something inside this that looked like a butterfly. And it was the size of a butterfly, so it was not big. And then now when it found out that I also hunted it, but it didn't know if I was friend to it, but I was friend to it. but they didn't want me to come close to this drone butterfly. And then it fly out, not with wings, it's only fly out, disappear from the room, and then it go to another room, and then into my kitchen, where it was the only place where the window was open. So it knew where to escape. And then when it come to the window, it was so small hole for it to fly out. So it crashed in the frame of the window. So it's laying on the back, and I took it very, very mild, gentle, to not destroy the body, and threw it out, and it fly away, and it was like that small. And then I remember when I heard about these drones on the airport, I was thinking about my friend that one morning she come almost running into my home, and she had just been to the child care with her son, and then she should go to work. But she ran into my home and breathe very hard. She said, I was haunted of some strange flying objects. It was not bigger than our plate where we eat the food on. It was so small. And we knew there about flying saucers. We knew about aliens in that time, but we never thought it could be so small. It was big when they were talking about those ships that they fly with. But this was small as a plate, and now I understand it when they are talking about this on the airport, that they can be any size. It can be small as a butterfly. They can be small as saucers. So a plate, and because they can shrimp, they can go smaller. It depends what's inside them. It doesn't need to be someone that fly them. It can be tools inside them, but no person in them. So they can be very small. They only maybe need a small camera, and they can be very small, those cameras. And so that what my were thinking. And then I go back to this boy. I have told you that follow me, I have told you about that I have met my old boyfriends and my father, and I have come into to heaven, and I have met them. And one special I was talking about was my boyfriend I live with in Chicago, and his father was Swedish. And then when I find out later on, when doing my DNA, that we were related to each other. And I couldn't live with him. He wanted to marry me, but I couldn't live with him because he was too weak personality. And he was drinking a lot. He was always drunk. He was terrible in drinking, but he was kindly the whole time. He was not abusive. He was weak instead. So I left him because I was thinking he can never defend me if some bad happened. So he died. I saw that he had died. And one night I saw him, and he was standing in a city, just in the street, like in the street. It was not much, it was no cars there. It was only him on the street. And I knew it was him, but I didn't understood it was him from the beginning, because he looked so young and he looked so happy. But then I read about him, how he died, and about him, and then I understood. I recognized him, but I didn't understood that it was my old boyfriend. I only recognized him when I saw him in heaven. But then when I wake up, I understood it was him I saw. And then I have seen my father also. I met my father in heaven. And he was like standing in a house with wee white walls, and I ran up in the stairs there, and on one level he was standing there, and I didn't really saw it was my father, but later on I saw a picture of my father just when he met my mother, and when I saw the picture, that was him in this, I can't say dream, a vision, and standing there. And I understand now that no one is talking about this, about heaven, that I have told you that I once was up in heaven before I left the United States. I was frightened to go up on an airplane again, because it was almost that I was killed when I took the airplane to the United States. And then I was thinking, now I'm going into an airplane crash and never coming back to Sweden. But I had a dream that I was up in heaven, and then I stood in a line of people, and then in front, with a desk in front of her and a big book, there was like a guardian angel. She had a long veil on her head, and then it was going far away behind her. This dress was so heavy, but she was standing there, and I talked to her, and already before I start to talk to her, or she was talking to me, I have decided me that I want to be forever in my 35 years of age. That was my best, happiest time, because she asked me, what was your happiest time? It was when I was 35 and I have just got my daughter. And I didn't know about this future I have today. And I didn't know. I have not been taught about heaven. And I say that I want to be 35. So that's it's that you don't live in heaven in that age that you die in. You can die and be 100 years old, and in heaven are you only 20. It depends what you say, what the angel at the desk before you come into heaven, she's going to ask you when your most happiest time were, because they want these happy faces in heaven. Do you understand it now? They don't ask you that what age you are in that time when you stand in the line to come into heaven. They ask you at what age you want to be in heaven. Oh, and the second question was, when were you most happiest? And today I should say, in this age that I am today, because I am most happiest today. I was not so happy when I gave birth to my daughter, but I didn't know how much problem it should be in the future. So for me was it the best time when I got my daughter. But today that is my best time when I learn about heaven and God and everything in afterlife. That's my best time. So it isn't that you can't go to in heaven and then you think that you should meet your parents or your loved ones, because you can't, as they can be in another age than what they died in. You maybe are coming there and you are 35, but your mother is maybe 12 years old. So it's hard for you to see it from the outside of their body. What you can understand that is your mother is how much you know her inside your mother, not how she looked like on the outside, but how she looked like inside her. And in that way you recognize your mother, even if she is younger than you. So it's very important for you to know, or else you can't find your loved ones if you don't recognize them from the inside. So I'd be very happy when I understood it was my brother that come this night, because it was like doors open for me, and suddenly I understood. He come there as about 10 years old, and that when he was 10 years old, he had a story about that age. He was only 2.5 years older than me, and we were playing together. We were like twins, he and I, and we had lots of fun. And then one day he be sick, and he be very, very, very sick, and had to lay in the hospital. And he had this dangerous illness that all kids have once, but now we have vaccine against it. Is going on around the neck, and swollen up the neck in ears. But he be very sick, and he tried to go out from our home, but the door was locked, and he was crying and screaming, and my mother had to call for the ambulance. Our father was away as usually in the bar drinking, so my mother had to do it on her own, and he lost. My brother lost the ability to could have any kids. That was the most common dangerous about to be sick in this around the years. But then I read today, because it was doors open for me this night, so I read about that it could go into the brain. And my brother had that very hard, this child sickness. So that was the devil going into his body and going into his brain and take over there, because after that he become evil. And it was about when he was about 10 years old. So that's I come to understand why my brother was so evil. And in that moment in the night that I understood why he destroyed my childhood, my teenage years destroy my relationship with other boys and these things. But I forget him this night, and it was wonderful to feel this, that I forgive you. I forgive you for what you have done. And I let him go. I'm not anymore angry at him. I feel I almost started to cry when I was thinking that he was the target, the prey for the devil. The devil took him when he was 10, and I could live. I could live even if it was bad things he did to me. And today, when I'm at this age, it doesn't matter anymore what have happened in the past. I once again, I felt like one stone was away that I have been carrying. I forgave him. And because he was not himself, the devil took him. So why should I be angry at him when he was infiltrated of the devil in his brain? So maybe he have died. I don't know, as we have not met each other. And his wife, she was angry at me already for 30 years ago. She was angry at me for nothing. So she should never call me and say that my brother have died. So I will see if I hear about it in some way. But it doesn't matter, as we have not been together. We have not talking to each other in 30 years, so it doesn't matter now. It doesn't matter anything about what was in the past. That's the good thing to be old. So you heard that I was gasping. It's time for me to go to bed again. I sleep very much. I hope that doctor can help me with my brain. But I got help this night to understand that it have not really been his fault. The devil took him and make him be like a monster. So it was not him. I forgive him. I forgive him so he can be in heaven, and maybe I meet him in heaven, and we can be like kids again, twins. So thank you for listen. We'll see if it's coming something more up. But it scared me that he come running up to my face very quick. That shocked me. But then I am not frightened about those things. I am used with it. But he comes so very quick. So, and I have said that before, that my siblings, they have not the same same name as me, so I don't put him out, that people know who he is. So thank you for listening, and God bless you.